There's going to be a nurses' strike in New South Wales. It'll take place next week. Now, it's not timed for the local by-elections, which are this weekend. Instead, it is happening next week. Here, in part, is what the New South Wales Premier has had to say about nurses going on strike right now.
I certainly understand that our frontline workers, whether it's our teachers, our nurses, our doctors, our paramedics, have been under a lot of pressure for 2 years. That's not just the case in New South Wales, it's the case around the world. So, and I also completely appreciate and promote the right to protest. That's what happens in a free and democratic society. Our job is to listen to those concerns, appreciate and understand where we can make a difference, and where we can, we will.
So, Shari, why are they doing this now? Now, obviously, the pressure on the hospital system, that's not news next week. It's been building for a long period of time. I have great sympathy and some solidarity with the nurses who are particularly annoyed. But why now?
It's obviously completely the wrong time to strike during a pandemic. And what's even more absurd is that when we've seen, when we've seen it on the news so many times, the group of nurses who say they've resigned over various issues during the pandemic. I mean, we have a shortage of nurses as it is. We had that before COVID. Now it's even worse because so much of the health system is having to isolate from time to time or getting sick with COVID themselves and not able to work. So this is the time when we've opened up for the first time. We're living with COVID when the country needs our nurses to actually do their jobs and not go on strike. We would all support pay rises. No one wouldn't support a pay rise for nurses or for healthcare workers who've been on the front line, who've been risking their own health to go to work every day. But a strike by the unions is the complete wrong call.
Chris, just really quickly, what do you think?
Surely it won't happen, mate. Honestly, in the middle of a pandemic, nurses going on strike, I don't think they'd do that to themselves. I think they want the threat of that hanging over these by-elections in New South Wales on the weekend to try and create a sense that the government's not managing the hospital system well. But surely they'll back down next week. I couldn't imagine it.
Stephen, quick one from you too.
Yeah, look, I mean, firstly, this wasn't some union official who just decided to make an announcement. There was a vote of members.
No, I get it.
And this is one of the strongest unions in the country in terms of membership support, rising membership. So this is a members' vote. And so why are they have been under the pump for 2 years. I just suggest that the New South Wales Premier sit down and have a discussion about what he's going to do for them going forward over the next period of their EBA. So yes, do I think it will happen? Hopefully not. But do they have the right to have a vote and declare they want to take industrial action? Absolutely. And the New South Wales Premier should now sit down to make sure this doesn't happen and give some commitments. I mean, if Scott Morrison can go out and throw some dollops of money to aged care workers, then surely the New South Wales Premier can go out and give the nurses a pay rise.